So then guys, with the announcement of the brand new iPhone 16 models, a lot of you are wondering what's the difference between say an iPhone 16 and an iPhone 15? Well, today I'm going to do a review of specs of comparing the iPhone 16 normal to the iPhone 15 normal. When I mean normal, I mean not a Plus model, not a Pro model, just the normal iPhone 16. And with that, let's get started with this review of specs. So, as you can see here, we have the iPhone 16 on the left and we have the iPhone 15 on the right for this review of specs. And let's get started right away. First of all, we have the actual display type. So the display type on both of these phones is exactly the same. They both have an OLED XDR display. This display got updated a couple of years ago now, and it's exactly the same display in both of these models. There's no differences whatsoever. And in fact, moving over then to the actual screen size, there's no differences here too. They're exactly the same size in screen. They've got the dynamic island in the top there, and exactly the same there. And in fact, even when you go down to have a look at the screen resolution here, you can actually see the screen resolution is exactly the same at 2556 by 1179. And even the screen ratio, the 19 by 5 by 9, exactly the same again. No differences here whatsoever. But what does that mean for clarity of the picture then on both of these phones? Well, interestingly, love, for pixels per inch, what we actually have here is we have 460 pixels per inch, or PPI, in the clarity in both of these phones. So exactly the same there. And then the same for the refresh rate. Sadly, Apple still have not brought over the ProMotion display to their normal phones, so we still are stuck with a 60 Hz display here. So no differences here whatsoever. It's a shame we didn't get it this year, but we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer for the normal iPhones to get this. But I can definitely say this will probably be definitely the best 60 Hz panel out there right now. For the actual screen brightness, what is interesting here is both the iPhone 16 and the 15 go up to a 2000 brightness of nits outside. But one thing I would actually comment here, what's not shown here, the iPhone 16 can actually go down to 1 nit of brightness too. What is helpful if you in the dark, for example, and your special one is going to sleep next to you or whatever, you're not going to cause too much disturbance there. So that's useful to know that. But then moving over to the processor, the CPU, then obviously, yeah, there's some differences here. We've actually got 2 generations ahead with the iPhone 16. But just to explain here, the iPhone 15 came with the A16 inside of it. And this is the same, or the exact same chip that was in the likes of the iPhone 14 Pro models. This was. So this was a 6-core CPU, 5-core GPU, and a 16-core neural engine inside of it. Whereas the iPhone 16, like I said, it is 2 generations ahead now. It's the Apple A18, 6-core CPU, 5-core GPU and 16-core neural engine, but don't let that throw you off, because at the end of the day, Apple have even claimed and showed the A18 is around about 30 to about, say, 35% faster in CPU and GPU kind of speeds. It's way faster there, and it's even more efficient than the A16, as you will see later on in the battery life there. So definitely do take that into account. Something else to take into account is the amount of RAM. The iPhone 15 came with 60 gigabytes of RAM, whereas the iPhone 16 comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM inside of it. But then moving along to the actual storage amounts, well, they're exactly the same as each other. So we've got 128 gigabytes, 256 gigabytes, and a 512 gigabyte option that you can pick for either of these phones here. So yeah, and again, there is no expansion storage, and personally I wouldn't even use it, as you will see later on with the speed of the USB-C port. For the operating system, both of these phones come with iOS 18 inside of them, and more than likely, I'm probably going to say the iPhone 15 probably has got about another 5 or 6 years maybe of updates, whereas the iPhone 16, that's going to have 7 or 8 years probably of updates now. So yeah, just be aware of that. Obviously, if you're buying a new phone, that will help there. For the actual battery life, like I said, with the A18 inside of it, it is going to make a difference here. What we've actually got is up to 22 hours of battery life with the iPhone 16, whereas the iPhone 15 has up to 20 hours of battery life. So there is a difference there. And part of it's to do with that A18, and part of it's also to do with the actual size of the battery. Now, you're probably also wanting to know how we actually got this level. Well, this is a test if you ran a video stored locally on the actual sort of hard drive or the storage built into the phones, not using wireless, not using 5G or anything like that, just locally stored, playing a video round and round and round. The battery would last 22 hours compared to 20 hours of exact same brightness, exact same sound, loudness, and all of that. That's what you're going to get there. And like I said, the actual battery sizes are slightly different here. The iPhone 16 has a 3,561 milliamp battery, whereas the iPhone 15 has a 3,349 milliamp battery inside of it. But then moving over to wireless and wired charging, well, there's a big difference here too. Funny enough, the iPhone 16, if you're using a wired charger, it can actually go all the way up to 45 watts. What's incredible now, but you need to plug in like a 45 watt, 50 watt sort of charger to get that or above. Whereas the iPhone 15, if you plugged in say a 30 watt charger, you could get USB-C speeds of 27 watts with this one instead there. But one thing I'll also note is the wireless charging. Apple have even claimed now with the iPhone 16 models, all of them, that if you have a 30 watt charger and buy one of their brand new MagSafe chargers too, you can actually get 25 watts MagSafe charging, but you have to use a 30 watt charger. Can't be a 25 watt charger, it has to be a 30 watt charger or above. So if you plug in a 40 watt charger, 100 watt charger, you will get 25 watts wireless charging through the brand new MagSafe connector. With that, what is really, really great, whereas the iPhone 15 still has the standard 15 watts wireless charging capability there. For actual weight, there is no differences really here. It's 1 gram. You can't even really weigh that really in your hands. They are basically the same weight in your hands, 171, 170 there. And the same for water resistance. They're exactly the same. They're IP68. This means if either the phone got dropped into water up to 6 meters, and then this was in clear water, and it stayed in there for 30 minutes or up to 30 minutes, there shouldn't really be any damage to your phone with that. But then moving over to the actual ports itself, like I said, they are USB-C ports for charging and things like this, but the actual speed of these ports are not the best still. They're both USB 2.0 ports, so this is speeds up to 480 megabytes. Just to give you a comparison, the iPhone 16 Pros and the 15 Pros could actually go up to 10 gigabits. So yeah, that is a massive difference what you can get there. So just be aware of that. But then moving over to stereo speakers, both of them have stereo speakers and around the sort of same sound there. But then the one big key difference is this time is artificial intelligence, or specifically Apple Intelligence. The iPhone 16 is absolutely chock-a-block with all the latest Apple Intelligence features that you saw at WWDC, and also a few other ones too that got announced at the iPhone event, whereas the iPhone 15 cannot support any Apple Intelligence features whatsoever. So just be aware that this is a big selling point for the iPhone 16. Then for Bluetooth connectivity, both of these phones have Bluetooth 5.3, so no differences there whatsoever. And then for Wi-Fi speeds, well, the iPhone 16 has jumped up, I'd say, 1.5 sort of stages in Wi-Fi speeds, Wi-Fi 7, whereas the iPhone 15 normal had Wi-Fi 6, not even Wi-Fi 6E inside of it. Then for the rear cameras, there isn't that much different, it doesn't look like on paper, but Apple have assured that their 48 megapixel in the iPhone 16 is definitely better than the one that was in the iPhone 15, and the same with their 12 megapixel ultra wide too. And both these phones can record up to 4K video, but most of the features are very similar on both of these cameras. Then moving over to the selfie camera on the front though, they basically have the exact identical selfie camera inside of them, inside that dynamic island. What is a 12 megapixel camera and can record up to 4K. And then finally, what does this mean then for the price? Well, the great news is the iPhone 16 is the exact same price as the iPhone 15 for the 128GB model, starting at $799 US. But I will make this aware now that the iPhone 15 If you buy it from Apple, remember this is when it came out, this price I'm showing, it has come down by $100 now. It is $699 US. But personally, if it was me, I'd pay that extra $100 because of Apple Intelligence and everything for the $799 US there. But with that, what iPhone model will you be buying? And that's the comparison there, guys. And like I said, I'll just repeat myself again. Personally, I would be paying that $100 more now today for the iPhone 16 over the iPhone 15. Mainly because Apple Intelligence and also, you know, that extra faster charging capabilities, bigger battery life. It's definitely worth that extra $100 in my own honest opinion here if you're choosing brand new from one or the other. If you do own an iPhone 15 right now and thinking of upgrading, I'd say it really depends if you want Apple Intelligence, and if also you can get a great trade-in deal for your iPhone 15. It's on preference on you there, guys. But do let me know what you're thinking to do here. Are you planning to get yourself an iPhone 16, upgrading from a 15 or an older iPhone? Let me know in the comments below. And with that as well, guys, it's time to round up this video. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. And also if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews, and comparisons too, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.